In this video, I'm going to show you a real automation I built for a moving company that give the owner back 25 hours every month. That system has handled about 80 jobs on average a month, and it removed all the manual copy pasting that was happening before from email into the CRM and freed up that time to close more sales and just be more productive. Here is exactly how it looks. This moving company works mainly off of referrals. So job requests come in over email from partners. When office employees receive a job request, they forward that email to an automation inbox. So for example, this might be what a job request looks like. If I was an employee, I would forward this to the automation's inbox. The automation extracts relevant details, uploads that into the CRM, and responds with the job number, an ID that corresponds to the record created in the CRM. From there, employees can respond in plain English to schedule the survey. The system will automatically reach out to the customer and follow up with the scheduling link if they don't respond. So this is what the automation looks like at a high level. It starts with that job request over email. Employees forward that to the shared mailbox. Once it's in the shared mailbox, the custom backend code picks that up, extracts the job details, uses the CRM API. The API is just the layer between the custom code and the CRM, writes that into the CRM, replies with the job ID of the new record to that original email. If a human replies to that email, understand what they're asking for, whether it's an edit to the information or if it's to schedule a survey. If they request a survey, then update that they requested a survey in the CRM, then contact the customer and wait for their reply. If they don't reply, follow up and contact them again. That is what the system looks like at a high level. The next thing I'll show you is how I actually built it. To actually go ahead and build this thing, the first thing you want to do is create a dedicated mailbox for the automations. That's so that there's one place to process all the incoming requests over email and so that no irrelevant emails are picked up by accident by the automation. For the scheduling links, I used cal.com. It's actually completely free, and you can use that same approach of connecting to the CRM API with cal.com. If you click into developer, documentation, you'll be able to see exactly how to connect and exactly what resources and types of scheduling logic they use behind the scenes so that you can create your own scheduling logic. To connect your automation to the CRM, you're going to want to look up their API documentation. Most CRMs will have an API and the docs are completely public. The docs are just a way that defines where you can write the data and in what format the CRM accepts the data. This is something that is Googleable, so you should look that up for your particular CRM. The CRM I used for this moving company was Moveware. This is their publicly available API. You'll see all the possible resources that you can write as well as the input format that the API is expecting. What I recommend is you'll see there's a JSON file here that is simply a text file that contains all the details in this UI that you can download. I highly recommend either copy pasting whatever's on the web page or downloading this JSON file and handing that off to Claude Code or your AI coding agent of choice. That way, it's not going to hallucinate any details about the API that aren't there. It's working off of real data. I built this all in Claude Code and Cursor. I started with creating all the necessary connections. So that is, first, you want to be able to read the emails that are coming into the shared mailbox. Now, in order to do that, you're going to need to create a connection to Gmail or Outlook, whatever email platform you choose. For me, that was Gmail. I did that by creating a Gmail client. The AI coding tool did all this. Create a Gmail client, pass it your credentials, and then it will be able to read and write emails from that shared automation mailbox. The next thing is to take the body of the emails that are coming in and hand that off to an AI to identify the relevant details. To extract the relevant details from the email body, I passed that off to an LLM to find the exact data that I'm looking to get from the job details. That's going to depend on you and your business and how you use your CRM. For the moving company, it was this format. These are all the relevant fields. And the prompt as well is very important. It You should absolutely specify that if the field is not found in the email, do not guess it, or just return empty. That way, no bad data is hallucinated by the AI model. This is very important as a lot of times partners will send job requests with missing data or incorrect data. I can include this prompt. Just comment below if you're interested. The prompt will also contain any kind of business logic that your business might have. So, for example, in moving, there's groupage requests where a customer wants to group their shipment with other shipments in order to save shipping costs. So you need to define what that means for your company. When a job email comes in and it has the word groupage, you have to let the model know that groupage is a job type. So defining all that information that is in your field of expertise is critical when getting this to work. Once all the relevant details are extracted, they're put into this common format that's going to be read by the CRM. So the next piece is actually showing how to write to the CRM in a format that it understands. Now, this may be the most important part of the video, which is how to handle failure modes and those edge cases that come up from day to day of actually using your automation that you haven't initially thought about. And it's really important to define these upfront so that things don't just break when you're in the middle of a workday and you're slammed with other things to do. So the two main edge cases to think about here is number one, how to handle duplicate jobs. So if you try to write to the CRM a job that's already in the CRM, someone put it in manually and now you're trying to have the automation write it. You want to detect that before writing it and have the automation reply, hey, there's already a job in the CRM with these details. So notify the user if there's a duplicate job. And before writing anything to the CRM, make sure to check for if the data is already in there. Otherwise, you will absolutely pollute your CRM with bad data. And the second thing is you want to create very specific rules of validation around the data you put into the CRM. For example, a lot of job requests from this moving company's partners came in with no customer name, no customer phone, and no customer email. It's very hard to create a CRM entry without that information. So when an email comes in to the automation mailbox, the first thing it needs to do is check for the customer's phone, email, and name. And if any of those are missing, reply to the user, whoever forwarded the email, hey, this information is missing. You need to reach out to the partner. In the automation I built, users just replied in plain English with the missing information, and the CRM record was updated from there. That is the end of the build. I just walked you through the architecture, the code, and the tech stack you'll need to build this for yourself. Let me talk to you quickly about the benefits that my client saw from using this automation. Not only was it just time back for office employees who were copy pasting to the CRM, but this also prevented a whole host of mistakes, like putting in the wrong customer information from copying and manually typing into the CRM, or just forgetting to keep the CRM updated. And that led to lost or mistaken jobs where a crew might show up to the wrong address or contact the wrong phone number for the customer. So not only is time saved an important metric to track here, the huge benefit is also just reliability and reducing the number of mistakes. So if your moving company still has people manually copying or manually typing into the CRM, there's a link below to book a workflow audit. It's completely free. I'm happy to walk through your workflow and just learn about your business and maybe identify opportunities where your processes could improve.